going to go over we'll probably do how to pull it apart and then how to put it together. As you can see, we've cut this little stud off right here before we parkerized it. So that little trip lever no longer fits in this lower. Set it apart. Set it over here. I've got 3 of them up here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over how to take one apart, how to strip this, and then how to put it back together. And then going back together, we've got the TTE hammer and semi-auto sear. So let me figure out which one of these we want to take apart, and then I'll show you how to take it apart. We're going to go with this one. All right, so the way this works is, make sure I'm in film here, or in whatever. There is a little shepherd's hook looking thing, kind of like from the AK system. Looks like that. Down off in here. You can see it a little bit under there if you're looking at one of these, and then the tail is right here. What it does is it has little grooves in the pin right there that fits into. So to get it out, it's kind of a whatever, but to get it out, we're going to pull up back here by the burst mechanism. Make sure I get it in film. Maybe. Gonna lift it up a little bit, and then our safety should start sliding out right there. So once we get the safety out, hang on, all right, so we're pulling our safety out. Got a disc, and honestly, I don't know if this is the right way. This is how we're going to do it. Let's just say it like that. This spring right here, if you want to change your grip and not take all this apart, you can just reach in, pop that spring out. It's kind of easy to get back in, but that gives you access to that where you can take your grip off. So the next one is there's a little let's see here, a little spring right here holding this on. So we got to get that off. I may have to pull it back out of frame and do it, but we'll get to that. And then this, let's get this out of here so it's not holding anything. Yeah. It may just have to ride around under there for a little while. Yeah, so we'll push this out. This is your hammer spring pin, or hammer pin. Comes out right here. Your whole 3-shot ratchet comes off, or the burst ratchet, whatever you want to call it. There's our spring. Our hammer pin will be next. Just reach in and push it out. All right, there's your hammer pin. There's your old hammer. Keep an eye on this. There's a little spacer there you'll need. And that just leaves your trip in here. It's on that stud. when we go back and rebuild this as a semi-auto, you can't have this. And then, so what you got to do is you just got to grind this stud off. You can see, well, you can't see. You can see where it used to be welded in right there. And you can see where we've ground it off. So there's no way this could be put back in as a full auto. Your upper receiver won't allow it anyway. So there's that. This little thing is a tiny little guy. Got a lot of force on it, but there it's off. Drop it out and just reach in there. You got to have it all the way down to get it out, I believe. Pry it off of there, and she's out. And you're ready. I mean, you could still, there's still a little hairpin in here holding this in. I'm not going to take this one off, but it retains that pin. It's pretty easy to, hell, we'll just go ahead and pull it off. Just pull it out. There's your pin, and then there's that retainer pin, and you're stripped. So let's get our other one over here and go back the other way. So first thing we're gonna do is, I gotta find a bag for all of this. Let me, shit. Let's put them in here. Because we don't have plans to, let me get this back out here because we're gonna need that here in a minute. We don't have plans to put this full auto parts back in here. I don't know if they have any value. I mean, it's a neat little thing, but we'll just hold on to them. So your selector drum, I'll show you this real quick. You can hardly see it. This one here has safe 1, 3, and 20. And then you flip it over, and you got safe 1 and 20. It's kind of neat. So that's whatever. All right, so going back in, let's look at this real quick. Here's the full auto hammer setup. We're not going to use that anymore. There's video online how to weld those, or I don't know if it's about how to, but I don't even know if it's a video. Honestly, I think it's just pictures. He welds those together, gets rid of this and then something else, and basically converts it to semi-auto. So we're gonna do something a little different. In here, you've got these two things here. They got a little rebound on them because there's little springs in there. Whoever designed this is actually kind of smart, because they made it where you can get it back in there pretty easy. So we got our TTEM or whatever the fuck it is. TTE, yeah. We got our hammer. We have a trigger. We have the TTE semi-auto sear, and you can see we've put those springs back in there. And I was gonna go dig through the shop and see if I could find a single spring for this instead of those two little springs, but we're gonna leave it like that for now. I really feel it needs just a single spring in here. I thought about using the one that's for the, it's over here on, there's a bigger coil spring that comes out of here. Thought about using it, but I think it was too big. So you can see we got them in there, and the way it works is you get it all in there, and then you can put the sleeve in, which is pretty smart. Makes it easier to put together, because, man, I don't know if you'd ever get that fucking thing together if that wasn't there. So, we got those two pieces. We've got our hammer spring. We have our trigger return spring. We have our hammer pin. We have our hammer pin spacer right there. Here's a disc, 0, 1, 320 or 20 S1, whichever one you want. I'm going back with the S120. Our safety, our trigger pin, and then our retaining pin, which will be the last part that gets put in here. So let's set this off. This is all that you need to go back, realistically. So let me slide all this over, and let's see if we can do this on camera. It's actually pretty easy. I was really worried about this. There's not a video out there, not a whole lot of information out there on these at all. Don't lose parts, by the way. If you lose parts, you're kind of fucked, because I've got 3 of these kits, and one of them, little fun fact for you, I bought one off Gunbroker so I could get a fixed stock. Between the two, the fixed, it's just like with H&Ks. The fixed stock is the better stock. If you want to look Instagram cool, that folding stock's probably all right, but the fixed stock is where it's at on this rifle. So anyway, as you can see, we got this going on. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna get our trigger in here. So we've got our pin, we've got our sear in there. We're gonna drop it in, and then you'll notice it won't go all the way in. If you push your sear back, it drops down. So now that we got that in there, we're gonna take our trigger pin, and you see how it's got a groove on this side. We want the groove over there, because that's where the retainer is. So got that in there. That was pretty easy. Next thing is we're going after our hammer here. This is the new one, US made. I don't know if they changed any geometry or anything. Same thing, got a groove. It's going to the other side over there. So here's the hard part about this, is we got to get this in here, and this goes in here just like this, comes under, and you got to get it into the hole back there, just like that. So now we get our hammer in here. Got to get that line. It's almost a 3-handed ordeal. And use your little pick, because you got to get it sliding in that hole back there so you can line the front up. Like right there. So you get it in the hole. Sure, there's jokes in there. Get her lined up. Start feeding your pin through. Do a little bit of cussing. Okay, there we go. So you got to get it where the thing is in the hole back there. Right there. Get your hammer pin in. And then you got to get our hammer back over. Got our pin. You can see it popping out right there. We want to get it right there at the edge of the hammer. Now, slippery as cat shit. That's okay. Let's come back down a little bit, get a better view. All right. So we have our little round spacer. We're going to reach in there, hold it in line with the pin. Now we got our pin in there, got our spacer in there. Looky there, our whole trigger hammer assembly is in there. Scoot this over so your holder, yeah, you'll get it. So there's that. Next thing is getting our safety back in here. Let's go back a little bit. And like I said, we want to use the S120. You see this has a little keyway. There's a keyway right here. You got to come forward some to get it in there. I'll show you why here in a second. All right, now we have a keyway right there. You get all our keyways lined up. And start sliding it through. Should be right there. All right, so get that in there. Now we got our safety in. You can see the little detents. Our whole trigger assembly's in here. Next thing is this little magic piece right here. And what it's gonna do is gonna come under that one, comes over your safety. See it right there. We've got to move that out of the way and just get it forward on there. As soon as we get that out of the way, it should drop. Okay. Get our pin in the right spot. There she is. So now we're captured here, and we have our safety detent. So next thing is, you can do this last because this piece you can take out and do your pistol grip if you want to. You're just gonna get it down in there. And it goes back of the trigger and there you go. Oh, I got it in the wrong spot. Looking through a camera trying to do this. Try again. All right, yeah, it goes down in the back of the trigger back there. So now we should have a semi-auto function. Let's go, catches again, let's go, catches again. It's actual simplicity. When I first took the one apart and was looking at it, man, I was like, man, this looks like a fucking Rubik's Cube. So, same thing on the 20, still only works as a semi-auto. All right, the big test is let's go up here. Safe holds it, no problem there. So, that's all there is to it. Grinding that off, and then in the directions at TT, I didn't cover this. In the directions that TTE sent, it mentions on the original 540 or something like that, getting rid of some of this. It's only a smidgen. I can't remember how much it was, but you'll need your calipers and stuff to do it. But other than that, here we go. So you got rid of your ability for a trip, or your sear, whatever the hell you want to call it. So now she's only a semi-auto. So let me put the upper on it, and let's function test. Where did the pins go? Well, I guess I left the pins downstairs. Ain't that a shitter? So what's going on there? Pretty simple. This is probably the easiest build I've done in a while. I would rate this easier than an AK build, honestly, with the barrels. I still have some mistakes I fixed. Still working on this. I need to get some files and stuff. I got it where the bolt catch fits now, but now I need to fit here. So going back on the next one, when I build the next one, because my buddy's Richards, his works fine all the way around. We built his also, no problems. So his, there's no problem here and it fits there, but it's because we fit everything as it went. So anyway, that's all I got for this one. She's a neat little machine, honestly. The kits are still out there. I had to pay, I wanted a fixed stock kit, so I had to pay quite a bit on Gunbroker for one, a little more than what I would have for another folding stock kit, but that's all right. I got 2 of these folding stock kits now because, well, I had to, but instead of building another one yet, all I did was took the stock off of the folding stock kit I brought in and then just put the side folder on it. So yeah, so if you get a chance, if you got any kind of welding skill, this thing's worth the trouble. I really wish they would just sell the shells as 80%, because to be honest with you, as much work as needed, I don't see why they're selling them as FFL items, short of they didn't want to, you know, mess with the whole permission slip bullshit part of it. So I don't know, either way, it's a good product. It's TTE is who sells the shells. The kits are still out there. They're still like 1040, something like that. You can get one. Yeah, so thanks for checking it out. Hopefully this helps you out, makes you a little easier to tackle this project, because I was worried about this. Not as worried about it. As long as you do your work on your lower while you're welding your upper, there's like 2 things you got to do in there. But anyway, that's my build. And before somebody thinks we finished a project, she's not finished, because we still have to do we still have to fit the bolt stop. So I may leave it right there, that way we don't cross that threshold, because I mean, if we do finish a project, these people are going to keep expecting us to finish projects. So, and that's not what I'm here for. I like starting shit and then just letting it slide, because I don't know, on like the last video about this, there's a mini Uzi in the video that some of you guys that were here a while, there was a whole welding series on that mini Uzi. I think there's still a little bit of it on Rumble. That's a cool little gun. We got it parked, it runs. I'm hoping Uncle Sugar fucking just lets this whatever you call it go, and the NFA stuff, if they let that go, I'll probably go through the trouble of trying to find a stock for it. My thought is like a side folding Uzi stock should fit that thing. So we'll see. I gave it to a buddy, but I'm still involved with the project. I think he shoots the shit out of it, but anyway. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you on the next one.